My name is Jeffrey Allen Ward. I'm the General Manager of the Membertou Heritage Park. As the General Manager, I oversee the building of the Membertou Heritage Park. Now, it's more than just a park. It's a mini museum. It's a cultural center. It's a place of ceremony. It's an educational and workshop area. It's where history is shared. It's a very vital, the heartbeat of culture. And we have a beautiful gift shop too as well. So it's an artistic hub. So there's many aspects. It's a meeting place. So there's many aspects that the Membertou Heritage Park offers. It's a 5-acre site, as you see. We have this beautiful building, and we have a laydown area or a park area where not only is it just great to learn, because we have statues out there, but also it's a great area for ceremonies, even wedding ceremonies too. When people get married here, but we also have a sweat lodge here. That's our ceremonious. So we do many different types of ceremonies here, mini powwows, gatherings. So it's a hub of cultural and experiential tours. So when it comes to tourism, we see tourism as an opportunity to educate. We are able to teach the history of our people and tell the story of Old Kings Road Reserve, how the Exchequer Court had a case of our community and had it moved. See, 99% of the time of all First Nation communities have been moved or have been moved from one location to another in all of Turtle Island. So we tell that story. Ours is unique because the Exchequer Court had a court case to have us removed. So we tell that story. And these 5 pods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pods tell the story of Membertou. These are the first 5 stories our elders want to be told first about the community, about residential schools, what we've done in our community, our culture, our history, and of course, leadership. So these are the stories that our elders wanted told first. And these are living documents. Some of these displays have changed twice, 3 times, because they've either added names, or when people come through it, they add to it. Our elders' knowledge is added in to the fabrics. And so our history is not forgotten. It's added to the stories that we tell here, to the biggest basket in Canada, which is located right here too. The biggest basket in Canada is right here. Yeah, we have it here. So it's this type of, and where you could actually touch and feel and see and smell a birch bark canoe. Because we want you to learn. It's about your senses. It's all about the physical building, the physical ancestors, the physicalness of the mental, the history, the emotional. We tell them stories. Residential schools, we tell the stories of our history. To resilience of our community. When you see Membertou now and where we are today, we're business leaders in the world today. We have ISO 9001, so we can do business anywhere in the world. We have that certification to the spirit. We feel that spirit. We smudge almost every day. Ceremonies are being done here many times. We have justice circles, talking circles, many things that are happening today. Mind you, that's not in the menu of things that we sell because it's sacred. So there's a balance of sacredness and a balance of what we offer the public. And we allow them to meet in a beautiful place known as the Membertou Heritage Park. We do not reenact, we enact. So when you go to the Fortress of Louisbourg, which is the biggest fortress in North America, located just 20 minutes that way to us, and we're on the other side of Cabot Trail, so we're in the middle. We want you to come stay here. And come visit us while you're doing the other things too as well. But when you go to Louisbourg, that's reenactment. They put on time costumes, and you could put one on, you could shoot a cannon, and do all kinds of great stuff. Here, you enact. When you see me in my regalia, today I'm wearing a ribbon shirt, but some days, I'm wearing my full regalia. Now, regalia is so important. And we say regalia, and I teach that to the public. And I get them to say 2, 3, 4 times. Say it loud and proud. 1, 2, 3. We chant it out, regalia, regalia, regalia. I say, great, because it's not a costume. Costumes are for Halloween. Regalia is something that I earned over the years. I've built upon. It tells the story of who I am. Each piece has a true meaning. From the turtle I wear, from the turtle clan that was given to me, to the minks that are on the side, or the martins that talk us the story about Glooskap's brother, his brother Martin, who was a martin. I wonder if he called him Martin. I wasn't there. But to the harness, beaded harness, was worn by an elder, Gordon Julian, who was one of the very first powwow dancers in Atlantic Canada. And it was gifted to me. And I found out later he's in my lineage. He's family. So I wear that with pride and honor. To my leggings, which my father had made for me when I graduated from high school. So you take each piece to my loincloth, which made with the same material my wife's regalia was made. So the day we got married, we wore our regalias. We had that traditional ceremony. So every piece tells a story.
I love that.
And that's important. And that's important. And that's what we do here. We want to share our stories of our ancestors, of trials and tribulations that we've gone through in time, and to show that resilience of our people, and share the history in a good way. We talk about allyships, and we talk about the things that happened to us that were not so well. And we do it in a good way. I think the business model is based on the medicine wheel. It's in 4 directions. We talk about the east, south, west, north, but we talk about the elements. And when you walk in here, if you notice the first 4 panels, it was the 4 seasons, which is beautiful work that was done by the late Doze Christmas, which is Dan Christmas, our first Mi'kmaq senator, who's from Membertou. His wife she's the one who designed that. And to share that, her artwork with the 4 seasons, it's like the 4 directions. And that's our business model here. It's almost like our building is in 4 directions too, because we have the business part, where you come in the gift shop, and you leave through the gift shop. So we make sure you buy something, take something, and monetary, if you're buying a workshop, we'll take care of the money, that area. But then there's the educational part, the mental part, where we want to share with you our history. We want you to see the biggest basket. We want you to see the history, learn about our people. We have Donald Marshall Jr.'s eel nets are here. To us, that's a holy grail of evidence. They're located right here. That changed the world for our people. When that court case made it to the Supreme Court, that and Sparrow, and they recognized our treaty, it changed our everyday lives. So these are the teachings that we have here. So we have that educational piece, the emotional piece, when you smelled that sage, when you felt it, when you walked in, you felt it too, and you're like, oh, that's so, and that's what we do. So it's a very spiritual and very emotional. Also too, to tell the stories. And when you hear the stories about residential schools, that you feel that in your heart, And then, of course, the last but not least, and sometimes it's either the first or the last, is the spirit, your spiritual part. And you're connected back to your ancestors, or you're connected to our people, or even your ancestors were allies, and you did not know it until you hear the stories. So, because there's many, many amazing stories, and there's so many teachings here in many directions. So, and it's a very visual place. You get to see, you get to read. It's very touch the canoe, touch the drum, see all the things. We want you. You'll hear it. You'll hear that drum. You'll hear the songs. You'll hear the chants. And you'll smell the sage. And some days, on good days, and maybe later today, because I know food's coming in, there will be food here. And we have like Looskinnigan. Looskinnigan is amazing. What we call Looskinnigan, people know it as fry bread or bannock. Big word out there is bannock. Our Mi'kmaq word is Looskinnigan. But Looskinnigan There's also, that's your loose Kinnigan right there. But when you make that, what are you doing? You're putting your elbows. A lot of elbow work when you're making bread. My bread makers know this. So that's loose Kinnigan.
How long has this been open for, sir?
12 years.
12 years. What do you see the opportunities for Heritage Park moving in the near future?
The strength that we have is our culture and our history and the pride in our history and who we are. And that's the story that we tell. So I think that's so important. And what I see is an extension onto this building, a bigger area, but also other areas. So, for example, we've taken an experience such as the Medicine Walk, which started here, but we've took it and we've placed it next door. And next door at the Trade and Convention Center, which is very business, you have a Medicine Walk experience, but it's in the VIC, the Visitors Information Center. So we've developed products and we put it over there, as well as many others. We've done with crafters, and we'll bring people in. A lot of times they'll start here, and maybe they'll go to 55 plus, or to the school, or we'll share. So we're always working together. So it's a very interesting business model in regards to that.
So out of all the things that you just listed, what one do you think is the biggest revenue generator for Heritage Park?
One of our big, partnerships with conferences that are Indigenous, when Indigenous organizations, for example, AFOA, Atlantic Financial Organization, Canadian Association, amazing, AFOA, I hope I didn't butcher them, I'm sorry if I did. But like say AFOA or many other Indigenous groups, Indigenous Tourism, ITAC, so when they come to town to rent the convention center, they buy all their gifts here. And they'll rent our rooms too as well. So when you get big conferences that come to the Trade and Convention Center, we benefit greatly from them. Also, I think one of our biggest revenues is Christmas time, our elders. Our elders come here and they do a lot of shopping here. And December is our biggest month every year. So December, but after the second, Celtic Colors. Celtic Colors has such, and with the cruise ships, so we have cruise ships, Celtic Colors, and schools. So we have almost like a triple of all different areas that want to be here, and sometimes they're out here at the same time, which is crazy to have all people in here. But we could do it. Sometimes we have to push people next door, people in other different areas. So what we do is, cruise ships used to be one of the biggest, but when different companies take over, what sells for them may be different, and they want to invest more. Because we used to get 80 to 100 ships per year, and we didn't even have this building, and they were coming to the Trade and Convention Center. When a new company took over, and for whatever reason, we went down to 8 to 10 cruise ships per year. And maybe that's a sales thing, I don't know. I don't know where that happened, but it's slowly building up, where we're getting 20, 25, 30 ships per year. So when a ship comes in, you could book one of our, we call it, they've named it Spirit of the Senses Tour, because you smell, you see, you taste, you hear. Spirit of the Senses, which is great. However, when people read it, they might not see it, but people that are looking for Indigenous experiences, they will find it, and they come here. And some don't book the cruise ship. Don't book the bus. They just get off the cruise ship and they come to us through a cab or whatnot, or they walk. Europeans walk. It's amazing. The tourists, they walk great distance and they'll walk straight here. It's amazing, and to see and to learn and experience. And they get to see me in a regalia, sing a song, share the teachings. And sometimes we have, for the Spirit of the Senses Tour, we'll have loose Kinnigan, we do like a mini powwow, I call it, an educational workshop. So but that's only a pie of my, so like I said, our biggest revenue is Christmas time when people, shoppers, but that's the cruise ships, plus the school tours, plus the Celtic Colors, plus the tourism. So I think our biggest tourism in that area is Celtic colors in regards to there's so many people in Cape Breton at the time, visitors. So we're very busy.
You mentioned the cruise ship industry and how important it is to your business. How are you working with these groups of people coming in?
We educate, we teach, we share. So we offer a package, but it's the company who owns that package, and they sell it on their cruise ship, which in returns get on their bus, and the buses bring them here. So we don't own any big buses. We do have a little bus. There's a whole licensing issue that they have to, but we don't own it. We're non-for-profit, so that's a good corporate question. And I think it's a partnership that they can be in creating with local businesses. So if Membertou was to buy a bus in partnership with caravans, that would be amazing. But that's for future talks, or also, I think, I guess what we offer a package for them to come in to see us, and it's a very nice educational, what they say, spirit of the senses, where they come and a good day, we'll be outside and on the lawn. It's a nice area. We'll even get a sound system up just so that everybody could hear. I'll share songs. I'll tell a legend. I'll tell stories and tell our history. And it's very educational. And then allow them to come in and to experience the Luskinnigan with tea and coffee. Or sometimes we'll have, other teas or other traditional teas. And they'll come into a nice air-conditioned, because sometimes it's very hot out there.
It's a great temperature in here.
Yeah, so it's always air-conditioned in here. In winter it's warm, and in summer it's air-conditioned. So and they come into our little mini theater, come into our mini museum, and they get to learn and see a lot of great things and buy some things on the way out. And we designed it so you get dropped off at one end, and you got to go through the gift shop to get back in your bus. So if anything we learned from Disney, we learned that. And Universal.
Learn from others. What are some of the challenges in managing a cultural site such as the Heritage Park?
One of the biggest challenges is to make sure that ceremonies are sacred. We do not sell ceremonies. Ceremonies are not for sale, so we keep them sacred. And that's important. We don't say, we're going to smudge you for $5. No. Not every day the smudge comes out. We smudge the building. If somebody has earned it, or they've learned and they want to know more, and they ask in a sincere way, by all means, we will share, we will teach. But we keep it sacred, because many times, we've read it online or read it, or people even come right up to us and say, stop selling ceremonies. And we've never have. So if you're in that, so there is a fine line that people got to watch. And there's a sacredness to ceremonies, because we do not pay to pray. They're free. We do not pay to pray. We have educational workshops. And not every time our feathers come out. Not every time my regalia comes out. Not every time our medicines come out. Because we have to protect them. But once they've earned it. See, now we go back to the values of love, humility, courage, respect, truth, wisdom, honesty. Once those are displayed in any form, then we begin to share, and then it becomes more of sharing. That's the challenge. The other challenge is, some packages, for example, I shouldn't mention any company names, but they say, let's just make up a name. This company, I don't know, Bus Company 1 and Cruise Ship 2. They have the people, but they control the ads on their, and if we sell them ads, or we give them ads, it's up to them to use it. But it's up to them to sell it. So we don't have control of what they're selling on their boats. So when they get here onto the bus, we got to rely on their history and their tour guides to tell our story. And we don't know if they're telling our story or how they're telling our story, because we don't go on cruise ships to come back to my center. It's actually a great idea.
Ego, igande, ha, ego, guandu, dana, hey.